This is the story of Joseph and the beloved son of Jacob, who was the son of Isaac, who was the son of Abraham. He had quite a family line, and he was his father's favorite, and he knew it.
Hey guys, check out my new coat from Dad.
Look at you in your Under Armour coat. Dad just gets ours from Walmart.
Guess what else? I had a dream last night and we were all there gathering grain, and your grain gathering around my grain and bowed down to it.
Are you serious? Do you think we're going to bow down to you?
I don't know, I'm just telling you my dream.
Oh, amazing Joseph, will you please grace us with your presence while we tend the sheep?
Or are you too good to help us?
I'm coming, I'll meet you there. I just need to take us back to Dad.
I can't stand that kid. Who does he think he is? When the dreamer comes, we should kill him and tell Dad a wild animal did it.
Hold on a second. We don't need to kill him. Let's just throw him into a pit.
So when Joseph met up with his brothers, they took off his designer robe, pushed him around, and threw him into a pit. Then they sat down to take a rest because beating up their brother was exhausting.
Hey guys, come on, I was just kidding about the dream. I won't say stuff like that anymore. God, can you help me? I just want to go home. I just want to be back with my dad. Please help me, God. Please let me get back home.
Hey, instead of just leaving him here to die, let's sell him as a slave. Then we can at least make money off the deal and not hurt our own flesh and blood.
So Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery for 20 sheets of silver. The traders who purchased him took him to Egypt. Joseph had cried out to God and asked him to send him home. God didn't do that. God said no.
Joseph was now a slave in Egypt for Potiphar, the captain of the guard, and the Lord was with Joseph, and he did success in all that he did. Soon Potiphar had put him in charge of his whole household.
Then Potiphar's wife became obsessed with Joseph, and she made up a story about him. This made Potiphar angry and put Joseph in prison. Joseph asked God to right this wrong. It was a made-up story. He asked God to get him out of prison. God said, "Not yet."
While Joseph was in prison, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended the king, and they were also sent to prison where Joseph was. After some time, both men had a dream.
What is wrong? You look so sad today.
We both had strange dreams last night.
But there is no one to interpret them.
Interpretations of dreams belong to the God. Tell me your dreams.
In my dream, I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clustered ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them in his cup, and put the cup in his hand.
This is what it means. In 3 days, Pharaoh will restore you to your position, and you will put his cup in his hand just as you used to do. Please, when this happens, mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of the prison. I have done nothing to deserve this.
I too had a dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods from Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them. Out of the basket on my head.
This means for you in 3 days, Pharaoh will punish you severely and you will be killed.
Now the third day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He resorted the cupbearer to his position, but he punished and killed the baker, just as Joseph had said to them in his interpretation.
Woohoo! I'm back! Hey Pharaoh, let's take a selfie.
Good to have you back. Anything interesting happen while you were in prison?
Nope, nothing I can think of. I just know it feels great to be here.
Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him to help him get out of prison. He cried out to God in the anguish that he was in place he didn't deserve to be. The cupbearer did not mention Joseph to Pharaoh. God said, "Not yet." When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing by the Nile when out of the river came 7 fat cows, and they ate among the reeds. After then, 7 skinny cows came out of the river. They stood beside the fat cows. Then the skinny cows ate the fat cows.
In the morning, his mind was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt, but no one could interpret his dream.
Oh snap, I forgot about Joseph. Today I am reminded of the time I spent in prison. While I was there, I had a dream and a young man was there, and he was able to interpret the dream, and it came out exactly as he said.
And you are just remembering this now? Bring me this young man at once.
Yeah, thanks, man.
My bad, bro.
I had a dream and no one can interpret it. But finally, the cupbearer finally remembered that you interpreted his dream in prison.
I cannot do it, but God can do it through me.
Pharaoh told Joseph his dream about the cows. Joseph explained to him that God has revealed to him what he is about to do. The 7 fat cows represent 7 years of great abundance. The 7 skinny cows represent 7 years of great famine that will follow.
I must find a wise man to put in charge of all this land. This person can collect food that is in abundance to save it for the years of famine.
What has 2 thumbs and told you about this kid? This guy.
Or how about this kid that God is making all of this known to?
So Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of Egypt. During the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food that was extra those years and stored it in the cities.
The 7 years of abundance came to an end, and famine spread across the land. All surrounding lands had no food, but Egypt was well stocked.
When the famine had spread over the whole country, opened the storehouses and sold food to the rest of the people. Back in Joseph's hometown, his family was feeling the effects of famine. So his brothers came to Egypt to buy food. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but they did not know who he was.
Where do you come from? We have come to buy food.
Joseph decided to test them to see if they had changed from the angry boys that had sold him into slavery. After a series of tests, he decided to reveal himself to them.
I am Joseph. Is my father still living? Come closer to me. I am your brother Joseph. You sold into slavery, but don't worry. It was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. God used me and my resources to answer your prayers.
God used Joseph in mighty ways. What his brothers meant for harm, God meant for good. God sees things we can't see yet. Sometimes God uses us or others to answer prayers. Sometimes God uses our resources to answer prayers.